The digital sky over Iraq, 1991. A supersonic chess match is about to turn lethal. Two F-15 Eagles are the only shield for 36 Allied bombers against a wall of determined enemy fighters. You are about to witness a trap set with lethal precision. If you find high-stakes aerial strategy fascinating, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell right now, because you won't want to miss a single second of this tactical breakdown. It is the morning of January 19th, 1991. The atmosphere is a digitized canvas of threats. Operation Desert Storm is raging. Captain Cesar Rico Rodriguez and his wingman, Captain Craig Mole Underhill, are piloting two formidable F-15C Eagles. Their mission: escort. They are sweepers, sanitizing the airspace for a massive formation of 36 strike aircraft aimed at Baghdad. Below them, the strike package waves of F-16 seconds commences its lethal ballet. They roll in, unleashing 2,000-pound bombs onto Iraqi ammunition depots. The desert floor erupts in secondary explosions, blossoms of fire and smoke. The F-16 pilots jink hard, pulling high-G maneuvers, dispensing clouds of chaff and brilliant flares, anticipating the inevitable launch of surface-to-air missiles. But the Iraqi High Command chose an aggressive counter. They dispatched their elite, two pairs of MiG-29 Fulcrums, the pinnacle of Soviet-era fighter design, airborne and in the hunt. The Iraqi Air Force was searching for a high-value opportunity. Their ground controllers spot the two-ship F-15 Element. It's a perfect isolated target. A calculated risk. A pair of Fulcrums breaks formation, afterburners igniting, accelerating to intercept. Inside Rico's glass cockpit, the world is a series of digital displays and synthesized tones. His headset crackles with the calm, digitized voice of Mark White, his AWACS controller. Rico, you have two hostile contacts. First, bearing 040 for 3 to 5. Second, 340 for 6 to 5. The information is processed instantly. Roger, Rico replies, his voice steady. We'll take the 040. He designates the most immediate threat. The F-15 seconds powerful AN, APG-63 radars pulse forward, sweeping the sky. A contact solidifies on their tactical screens. Contact. But it's not the only alert. On a separate display, the radar warning receiver, his digital sixth sense, flashes a dreaded identifier: 29. This is not a drill. I'm being painted. MiG-29. Mole confirms. I see it. The pilots brace. Two pairs of fourth-generation supersonic fighters, apex predators of the sky, are now committed, hurtling towards each other in a deadly, high-speed electronic joust. Rico's hand moves, selecting an AIM-7 Sparrow missile. This is a radar-guided weapon, a Fox 1, and it needs him to paint the target with his radar until impact. But the Iraqis are not amateurs. They are executing a calculated plan. They dive sharply, plunging towards the desert floor, attempting to mask their approach within the ground clutter. The chaotic radar returns from the terrain. It's a textbook tactic to confuse the F-15 seconds look-down, shoot-down capability. It fails. Aboard his Eagle, Rico's advanced radar processor filters the noise from the signal. The single fuzzy contact bifurcates into two distinct, solid targets. I got you, Rico murmurs. It's 2 versus 2. He selects one contact, initiating a target lock. The system screams a high-pitched tone, confirming the lock. In the cockpit of the lead Fulcrum, the pilot's own RWR explodes with the wailing alarm of a missile lock. But the Iraqis have another gambit. They bank hard, turning perpendicular to the F-15 seconds flight path. Suddenly, the alarms in the MiG cockpit go silent. In Rico's cockpit, the solid radar contacts vanish. I lost it. His finger was hovering over the weapon release. This is the Doppler notch, or beaming a blind spot in pulse Doppler radar. By flying at a 90-degree angle to the radar's emission, their relative velocity drops to 0, making them invisible, filtered out as ground clutter. Rico is frustrated, but not surprised. It's a known counter tactic. The enemy reappears 12 nautical miles away. Contact. He locks again, but holds fire. He knows the MiGs will notch again before the missile can travel the distance. True to form, they disappear again. Lost it again.
Contact.
The MiG-29 are playing a dangerous game, blinking in and out of existence on Rico's screen, skillfully maintaining a 12-mile separation. They are dragging the F-15 deeper into Iraqi airspace. This is not a fight, it's a lure. We are back in the skies over Iraq. January 19th, 1991. Captains Rico Rodriguez and Mole Underhill, in their F-15C Eagles, are locked in a frustrating electronic duel. Two Iraqi MiG-29 Fulcrums are beaming, exploiting the Doppler notch of the F-15's radar. The enemy contacts blink in and out of existence, refusing to be locked, maintaining a precise 1-2 nautical mile separation. They are not fleeing, they are leading. They are dragging the two American fighters further from their support and deeper into hostile territory. Back at the AWACS, the massive E-3 Sentry aircraft, Mark White watches the electronic battlefield unfold. As the F-15 give chase, their tactical icons cross a predefined boundary, leaving White's designated area of responsibility. Protocol dictates a handoff. Reluctantly, he must transfer control of Rico and Mole to another AWACS controller, one responsible for the adjacent sector. This handoff, though standard procedure, introduces a momentary but critical gap in situational awareness. The chase continues. Rico and Mole are focused, their attention consumed by the two elusive contacts on their radar screens. They are flying deeper into the hornet's nest. Suddenly, Rico's RWR, which had been quiet apart from the intermittent 29 signatures, begins to chirp. Then it beeps, then it screams. The display, previously clean, floods with new, terrifying symbols. It's an entire integrated air defense network. S-125 NEVA surface-to-air missiles. Not one, not two, but an interlocking field of death, a dense cluster set up to defend the airspace around the capital, Baghdad. The realization hits Rico like a physical blow. The MiGs weren't running. They weren't trying to escape. They were luring them. This entire chase was a carefully choreographed deception. They are dragging us into the city's anti-air. Mole's voice is tense, cutting through the cockpit's hum. What are we going to do? This is the kill zone. Every instinct of self-preservation screams to turn and flee. But Rico is the escort. He checks the strike force's status on his data link. The F-16 are egressing, but they are still vulnerable. If the F-15 turn tail now, if they abandon their post, the two MiGs will be free. They could loop around and slaughter the bomb-laden F-16 on their way out. The choice is agonizing. Rico makes the call, a decision that defies every survival instinct. Hold position. Keep pushing the bandits away until the strikes are done. Then we can get out of here. They hold their altitude. They continue flying deliberately towards the SAM trap. They are making themselves the bait to protect the main force. The RWR clicks become a constant, terrifying symphony of threats. The enemy ground radars are sweeping them, locking them, calculating firing solutions. The pilots can almost feel the electronic energy washing over their airframes. But the Iraqis have one final, horrifying ace up their sleeve. This multi-layered trap is more sophisticated than Rico can imagine. The SAMs, the interlocking fields of Sone 125 are not the real trap. They are the distraction. A third MiG-29, which had been stalking them for miles from their left flank, is now making its move. This pilot has maintained perfect radio silence. His own radar is turned off, making him completely invisible to the F-15's RWR. He is a silent hunter, closing in from the 9 o'clock position, entirely outside the F-15's forward-facing 120-degree radar cone. Rico and Mole are blind to him. Back in his AWACS, Mark White, despite having handed off the F-15, cannot look away. His own powerful radar sweeps the entire sector. He sees the primary F-15. He sees the two bait MiGs, and he sees the new contact, a fast-moving, non-transponding icon, accelerating on a perfect intercept course with the oblivious F-15. He sees the horrifying geometry of the ambush. 18 nautical miles. The new contact is well within the lethal range of the R-27, the standard Iraqi BVR missile. 16 miles. Still no reaction from the F-15 seconds. White gets nervous. Breaking radio silence, stepping on another controller's fight, is a major breach of protocol. It could cause chaos, confuse the pilots. 15 miles. 14 miles. The silent MiG is seconds from launching. White can't wait. He decides to act. He grabs his microphone, bypassing protocol to save their lives. The trap is about to spring. The trap is set. High over Baghdad, Rico and Mole are flying straight into a SAM-infested kill zone, their attention pinned on the two bait MiGs to their front. From their left, a silent third MiG-29 closes, undetected. 14 nautical miles. In his AWACS, Mark White makes the call, breaking protocol. Pop-up contacts, 330 degrees for 13 miles. The warning is stark, urgent. It's right in the nick of time. In Rico's cockpit, the call slices through the tension. He reacts instantly, without hesitation. His training takes over. He paddles the switch to jettison his external fuel tanks, shedding weight and drag, and yanks the F-15's stick hard into his lap. The Eagle responds, pulling a gut-crushing high-G turn towards the new threat, vapor instantly sheeting off his wings. The moment his nose, and the powerful APG-63 radar within it, points towards the new bearing, the threat appears. It's not a distant blip. It's a solid, immediate danger. Bogey, 8 miles out. Just 8 miles. They are already deep inside the merge, well within the lethal envelope of each other's missiles. At that exact same instant, the Iraqi pilot, who had been flying blind, guided by his ground controller, gets the call. You're in range. Engage. He switches on his radar to acquire a target lock. With this single electronic act, his cover is blown. The ominous 29 floods Rico's RWR, confirming the threat. The two cutting-edge fighters are now fully aware of one another, approaching at a combined supersonic speed. Rico selects the target on his display and initiates a lock, but he doesn't fire. The rules of engagement, ROE, are strict and unforgiving. All contacts detected within 10 nautical miles must be visually identified. This rule exists for one critical reason. The F-117 Nighthawk, the stealth fighter, flies in this same airspace, and it does not carry a transponder. A misidentification would be catastrophic. Even with the 29 screaming on his RWR, even with the imminent danger, Rico holds fire. He orders Mole to run an electronic friend or foe identification on the contact. But there is no time. The Iraqi pilot has no such restrictions. He selects Rico's aircraft and locks him. In Rico's cockpit, the RWR wail shifts from a warning chirp to a solid, deafening, continuous tone. It's the death tone, a hard lock, indicating a missile is likely in the air. "I'm getting spiked," Rico shouts. He immediately rolls the F-15 upside down and pulls hard on the stick, diving vertically towards the desert floor, dispensing a cloud of radar-reflective chaff. "I'm getting low. The terrain will confuse its targeting system."
He's trying to use the ground clutter to break the enemy's lock, but it doesn't work.
The RWR continues to scream in his ear, a digital warning of impending doom as he races down from 30,000 feet at the speed of sound. Rico whips his head left and right, his eyes straining, desperate to visually spot the enemy or the incoming missile. Far above him, Mole, his wingman, watches his leader dive. He has the attacking MiG locked on his own radar. His finger hovers over the weapon's release button. He is running the identification procedure with the help of off-board intelligence aircraft, a process that requires cross-referencing data links. The seconds feel eternal. Finally, the system clears the contact. It is hostile. He is given the all-clear. Mole presses the button. Fox 1! The AIM-7 Sparrow missile shoots off from under the F-15 inches, a brilliant plume of smoke and fire. Rico, still in his dive, sees the smoke trail streak across the sky, passing between his twin tails. He follows the white smoke trail with his eyes and, for the first time, finally sees the MiG-29. its nose pointed down, aiming directly at him, but it never gets to fire. The Sparrow, guided by Mole's radar, rushes in and strikes the fulcrum square on the nose. There's a giant flash, and the MiG-29 disintegrates, tearing apart into a black smudge of oil and shattered metal. Splash 1. A wave of profound relief washes over Rico as he pulls his F-15 out from the dive at just 500 feet above the ground. But over at the AWACS, Mark White can see it's still not over. Second group, north, 10 miles. The original bait is back. Rico's heart is hammering, his body flooded with adrenaline. He has just pulled his F-15 out of a terminal velocity dive, the desert floor rushing up to meet him at a terrifying 500 feet. The fireball of the third MiG, destroyed by his wingman Mole, is still a smear in the sky. The immediate threat is gone, but the battle is far from over. Mark White's voice from the AWACS, the calm in the storm, cuts through the static again, this time with renewed urgency. Second group, north, 10 miles. The original two MiG-29 seconds, the bait that had lured them into the SAM trap and the subsequent ambush, are back. They had used their wingman as a sacrificial lamb, and now they are returning to finish the job. Rico scans the skies, his radar sweeping the northern sector. He checks his F-16 strike package status. By now, the bombers are feet wet, clear of the target area, and heading home. The primary escort mission is technically complete. He and Mole have every reason to disengage, to punch their afterburners and escape the SAM-infested airspace. But the enemy is too close. The new contacts are just 10 miles out and closing. Turning their backs now would be a fatal mistake, an open invitation for a radar lock and a missile shot from behind. They have no choice. They need to fight their way out. Rico turns north, and the enemy contact solidifies on his screen. It's just beyond the 10-mile visual identification vid limit. This is a BVR, Beyond Visual Range engagement. According to the rules of engagement, he is clear to shoot. He runs the electronic identification procedure. The system cross-references the jet's radar signature. The result is instant. Hostile. Rico selects the contact on his radar screen and designates it as the primary target. He locks it. The high-pitched tone in his helmet confirms the solution. In the enemy plane, the Iraqi pilot hears the familiar, terrifying wail of a lock alert, and he breaks into a sharp, evasive S-turn maneuver. But it makes no difference. Rico's APG-63 radar is one of the most powerful in the world. It holds the lock, burning through the jamming. Rico's finger hovers over the weapon's release button, ready to send another Sparrow. He lights up as a diamond on my scope. Mole's voice cuts in, laced with a sudden, cold sense of dread.
I'll identify.
Say again? Rico demands. It goes from a solid radar contact to a diamond. Mole repeats, his voice tight. A diamond tells me he's friendly. This is the nightmare scenario. A diamond is the IFF, Identify Friend or Foe, symbology for a friendly aircraft. Mole's systems are now identifying the exact same target that Rico's systems identify as hostile, as an ally. All weapons are now on hold. Firing is forbidden. This is fratricide, the act of killing your own, and it is every pilot's worst fear. In that instant, Mole is overtaken by a cold sweat. But Rico is confident. It has to be another MiG. The IFF system must be malfunctioning. The target's aggressive behavior, the context of the entire engagement, his gut instinct, it all points to an enemy. But he cannot fire on a target identified as friendly by his wingman. He needs to prove it. He has to see it with his own eyes. The rules of engagement change in an instant. The BVR fight is over. This is now a close-range visual fight, a dogfight. I'll identify, Rico calls, making the split-second decision. You get ready to take the shot. Rico pushes his F-15 into a full afterburner, racing towards the unknown enemy which is coming straight towards and slightly above him. Rico keeps low, letting the bogey get closer, using the ground as a backdrop. Then he pulls up, engines burning at maximum, rocketing upwards in a vertical climb to force the merge. He can see the belly of the bogey right in front of him, a dark silhouette against the bright, washed-out sky. It's still hard to tell what it is. He holds his F-15 inches its dangerous path, closing the distance at over 1,000 miles per hour until Rico's F-15 roars within 50 feet of the bandit. It's a terrifyingly close pass. As he does, he finally gets a good clear view of the enemy's topside. He sees the distinct green camouflage. He sees the twin tails. And he sees, painted proudly on the fuselage, the Iraqi flag. "It's a MiG-29!" Rico shouts. "The ID crisis is over. The fight is on. It's a MiG-29!" Rico's confirmation cuts through the chaos. The 50-foot, high-speed visual identification is complete. The electronic ambiguity is gone, replaced by the lethal certainty of close-quarters combat. As Rico soars over the MiG, he looks down through his canopy and sees the enemy pilot performing a flat-level turn, holding his altitude, seemingly stunned by the audacious pass. In that instant, Rico spots his opening. All the complex, pre-planned tactical formations, the shooter-eye BVR procedures, go out the window. This is no longer a chess match of radar and missiles. It's a primal, reactionary dogfight. Rico inverts his F-15C Eagle, turning upside down, and pulls hard on the stick. He is trading his altitude for airspeed, cutting inside the MiG's turning circle, trying to get on his 6. He is immediately crushed by 10 Gs of force, pushing the F-15 to its absolute structural limit. The airframe groans in protest. The blood rushes from his head, and his G-suit inflates, squeezing his legs and abdomen to keep him conscious. He sees the MiG roar past in front of him, and he pulls hard left, staying in the enemy's blind spot, maneuvering to get his weapons to bear. He sees the MiG flying away, trying to extend or run, but Rico knows he has the advantage in this turning fight. The F-15, though larger, has incredible maneuverability at this speed. The MiG pilot, realizing he cannot outrun the Eagle, pushes his nose down, once again trading altitude for speed in a desperate dash. Rico follows him, and the two jets become locked in a deadly, high-G spiral, hurtling down towards the desert floor. The paths of the two aircraft converge. Rico sees the MiG scream through the merge, getting closer. He pulls hard again, feeling the crushing weight, his vision tunneling into a small circle, a state known as gray out, as he does everything humanly and mechanically possible to bring the fulcrum into his sights. Far above, Mole orbits, watching the deadly ballet, his own systems locked on, acting as a shooter in case Rico loses the advantage. "I can come in." Mole offers, seeing an opportunity for a shot. "Stand by," Rico grunts, the G-forces making speech nearly impossible. He can feel it. This one is his. He sees the MiG coming back around, and they roar past one another, head-on, in another merge. He almost has him, but they are rapidly running out of altitude. They are fighting below 10,000 feet. Rico pulls with all his strength, powering through another 10G turn. Through the crushing tunneling G-forces, he sees the beautiful, deadly sight of the fulcrum moving into his HUD. The F-15 systems are ready. Rico selects an AIM-9 Sidewinder, a heat-seeking missile. A distinctive growl sounds in his helmet, the missile's seeker head confirming it has a thermal lock on the MiG's hot engines. He starts to pull his nose ahead of the MiG, leading the target, calculating the shot for the best chance of impact. But the Iraqi pilot sees it. He knows he's been beaten. In a desperate, last-ditch attempt, he does the one thing Rico doesn't expect. He turns upside down and pulls hard, not in an evasive maneuver, but in a straight dive towards the ground. Rico is ready for the Iraqi to try something, but he is shocked to see the MiG dive straight for the sand. He doesn't even think of following. He pulls up hard to the left, letting the MiG go. The Iraqi pilot, now fully committed to the dive, starts to pull up. He is crushed by extreme G-forces as his plane continues its terminal trajectory. The sand fills his windshield. He pushes the afterburners to maximum, his MiG screaming as it pulls beyond its G limits, trying to bring the nose up. But it's not enough. The MiG-29 Fulcrum and its Iraqi pilot vanish in a violent impact with the desert floor. Rico's heart races as he comes down from the adrenaline high. He's won. Mole's F-15 appears 2 miles off his right wing, tactical, right side, and Rico can finally afford to relax. "Let's go home," Cesar Rico Rodriguez would tally up 3 victories in his career, tying him for the top spot of MiG victories for any pilot after Vietnam. This encounter remains a classic example of modern air combat, where technology, training, and pure pilot instinct collide. If you want more in-depth analyses of legendary dogfights like this, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow aviation enthusiasts, and comment below with what engagement you want us to break down next. Thanks for watching.